Mr. Anderson, where were you stationed?
Let me just tell you one thing about when we got out of boot camp, we wanted to come home. 3 days and 3 nights on the bus to get from San Diego to Foley, Alabama. But I was stationed in Whidbey Island for a little bit, and then they put me on the carrier. I was off of Korea when the war ended on the carrier. And then I went to Norfolk, Virginia. And I'll show you the difference between today and back then. I had been sending money home. And I told my mother, I said, I'm fixing to come home, send me some money. Well, it got messed up somewhere before it got to me. And it came time for me to go on leave. I didn't have any money. So I got out on the highway and I hitchhiked all the way from Norfolk, Virginia to Foley, Alabama. Now, you couldn't do that now.
No.
But, you know, I didn't have any problem. I left that afternoon. The next afternoon, I was home. Hitchhiking. So, you know, different times.
Yes. Yeah, how about, I was reading a write-up about, you mentioned St. Stanislaus. In 50, it mentioned a guy named Jimmy Holmes that it said was from Foley playing over there.
Well,
Yeah, he was.
Dr. Holmes had 3 boys. Buddy was the oldest, Brooks was the middle, and Jimmy was the last son. He played at Stanislaus. Well, Brooks didn't want to go there. He played at Foley. So he didn't play against, I don't think he played against his brother because I think it was a year lapse there playing him. But we played against Jimmy,
I remember this about that trip. We went in a bus, and somewhere down in Mississippi, the bus broke down. And we had to go to the garage and get it fixed, and then continue on. So it was an all-day journey down to St.
But
Stanislaus.
the man that was a mechanic, Alphonse Grass, Mr.
Yeah,
Grass,
and Frank Stewart.
Frank Stewart,
Yeah,
they kept them busy.
yeah.
I mean, back then, they just repaired buses because we didn't have a whole lot of money back then. And gosh, some of those buses, is it gonna make it to Fairhope and back? And if you wouldn't, what they're accustomed to now, riding in an air-conditioned trailway, or it was different times.
We talked about the 49 Fairhope game. Y'all senior year, y'all were playing Fairhope for the championship, I guess, too. And I think y'all lost 13-0. Y'all
Yeah.
remember anything about playing them that year or the week leading up to that game?
One thing I remember about playing them that year, they had a running back named David Stapleton, and he was not the only thing they had, but he was good. I think they beat us 13-0, and I think he scored both touchdowns. But he went on, I think, to play or had a scholarship to Auburn. But I don't know if he ever, played any at Auburn at all, because I went into the Navy next year, so I don't remember what happened to him. He was a good back.
Thing I remember most about Fairhope, it was always so cold when we played
Oh,
there.
gosh, yeah. Lord. And we played them in November, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And man, I'm telling you, it was bitter cold.
Y'all senior year, it was November 16th.
What about that Viger game? Looks like that was a real
You talk
good
about
game.
that 20-19 against Viger. What's the memories y'all have of that? That must have been a great game.
Well, they played 2 ways. They had an offensive team and a defensive team. And they were big. They were really big kids at that time. And we beat them 21-20. But that, I think it was an upset. I don't think they expected us to win that game.
I know Foley struggled with them, some of the later years in the 60s. That was big to beat Viger at that time.
I know I got hit the hardest I ever been hit in that Viger game. I passed him. Went back to pass and I threw it, and the guy hit me right in the gut. And I don't know, he must have been offsides, but he tore me up. When I got up off the ground, I thought, whew, feel and see if everything's in place. But he blindsided me.
They forgot to throw the flag.
Yeah,
your junior year, I think that team might win the county championship your junior year. And the last two games, I think Farrell was 20-20 and Viger was 66. Both those, any thoughts about those two ball games?
Oh, gosh.
One of the write-ups in 50, let's see. Here's the onlooker that Farrell game says the Foley Lions and Farrell Pirates fought to a 20-20 tie in Farrell Friday night in one of the best high school games ever played in Baldwin County. Must have been a good ball game. Let's see what else it says here. It said that Farrell jumped out 13-0 early in the third quarter. It said Billy Hoffman had a 60-yard touchdown run right in. It says Leon Sawyer made a 20-yard run. Let's see. It says Larry Underwood took a flat pass from Billy Underwood and lateral to Clive Pierce on Foley's 40. And Pierce went the rest of the way down the right sideline untouched.
There you go.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that.
I remember that now since you mentioned it, yeah.
What, tell it to sound like a hook and lateral kind of a thing, or a pass and a lateral?
It was a hook and lateral. I know my senior year, I threw one to Bo Walker, and I kept telling him, Bo, don't telegraph it, keep it and run. Well, we were playing, who were we playing that year? And I threw a pass to Bo. What does he do? Pitches it out there. Well, the DB was just waiting on it, boy. And when he pitched it, he caught it in midair and ran it back for a touchdown. Well, we had some guys that would play tricks on each other, and gosh, I don't know if Edsel and Larry remembers, but we had a guy that, Robert Canton, they called him, I think they had a nickname, Burrhead.
Yeah, that was it.
And somebody, he was always asking stupid questions. And he had an accent. Instead of saying Coach Smith or Coach Meredith, he'd say Coach. And people just shied away from Burrhead. So they finally, we're going to play a trick on Burrhead. So I don't know what they called it. Actually, y'all might probably remember, but it was some kind of lotion. It was green, I believe. It was atomic bomb or atomics. If you had a bruise or hurt in the thighs or something, well, you'd come in from practice, take a shower, and dry off real good, but put that on, then go home, and it helped cut down the pain and soreness and everything. Well, somebody, they just had enough of Burrhead, so they said, we're gonna fix him up. He came in dress out after school. A lot of us had 7th class open, and we'd dress out and run and do calisthenics and everything, then wait for the group coming out at school. So somebody got the idea, and I don't remember who it was. They said, we're gonna fix Burrhead up. So they got some of that lotion and put it right at the edge of his jock. So he come running in there after school, throwing clothes off, got naked, put his jock on, and all of a sudden, frown came on his face. He went flying in the shower. Let it, well, that was the wrong thing to do because water just made it burn that much more. So he come running out of there, took his jock off, got a towel and started fanning and rubbing. He finally got it down enough where he could go practice. Then we started thinking about, boy, if Coach Meredith finds out about this, or if it's something that might get infected, and Lord, we started thinking about, why did we do that, I forget who was the instigator, but I remember that. Burrhead, he would check his jock every time from thereafter.